We have a video about the entities associated with drugs, tobacco, and alcohol, and caffeine, and I think we mentioned a couple other entities in there. Let me tell you one about the sugar entity. A live example of the sugar entity, in fact. It's with me, my personal experience. You see, growing up, I pretty much survived on sugar. Morning breakfast, either cold or hot cereal loaded with sugar. Throughout the day, drank not really so much juice, but we did drink juice or soda. We always had soda in the house. After school, I'd come home and the first thing I would eat would be ice cream in an ice cream cone. Awesome, right? Yes, great. After dinner, I would make cookies, bake cakes, or have other sweets. During the summer, I would take whatever money I could find from babysitting or just taking from my mom's wallet and go buy candies from the local stores. So I lived on sweets. I ate a lot of sweets. Well, about 7 years ago, a molar on the right side of my mouth broke. So I went to the dentist and he said, "Oh, we just need to pull this tooth. It's rotten, it's no good, etc., etc." I said, "No, I'm going to do what I can to save this tooth." So I researched different methods and I started doing the work and it got better. Well, fast forward now, Ideal Weight Program a couple of years ago, we were guided that we should limit the amount of sugar or eliminate the sugar from our diet. Well, I limited it. I had already limited it from 7 years ago. I hardly ate sweets that often, maybe once or twice a week. So when this came up in IWP, I said, "Oh, well, I think I'm fine with sugar." Yes, well, it came up again this summer in Ideal Weight Program that we should be focusing on eliminating sugar from our diet. So I decided I would do that, and I eliminated processed sugar. We were guided to take honey in the morning and the evening, so I continued that regimen. And then I also limited the amount of fruits I was eating. And then it got to a point where I didn't even eat the fruits. So it was like just the honey was the only sugar I was consuming. After like 3 months, it was my birthday and the family wanted to celebrate, so they bought a cake. I ate the cake and my teeth hurt after eating the cake. Okay, well, I know my body doesn't like sugar, so I tried to avoid it. Thanksgiving came, we had sweet treats then, and then now Christmas and New Year's. So for the past 3 or 4 days, I have either had one cookie, because our daughter baked cookies, so I've had one cookie, or one day I had a glass of eggnog that our son made from scratch, or yesterday my husband bought ice cream treats for the kids, so I had one of those. And after eating the ice cream treats, every day for the past 3 or 4 days I've had something sweet. But last night after that ice cream treat, there's been a lot of pain in my teeth, and I know it's because of the sugar. So before going to sleep, I was using the different tools, one of them being the spinning ball technique, and the color that I saw of this pain was bright red. So I completed the technique and I went to sleep. Well, around 4 o'clock this morning, all of a sudden my husband started to moan in his sleep, which is completely unusual. So I woke him up and he said, "Oh, I'll have to tell you about this experience in the morning." I said, "Okay." In the morning, I asked him about the experience. He said that what happened was he and I were in this house and there were these people visiting, and once the people left, he and I were talking and I sat up really straight and I was looking at a doorway, and he said, "What is it?" And I said, "Well, I decided to stop playing the game and I was going to tell you about it," or something to that effect. And when he looked at the doorway, he saw a little girl in the doorway wearing a bright red dress with a scar on the right side of her face. And she was angry, so angry, he said she looked really possessed. And she seemed like she was possessed because all of a sudden she lunged at me to attack me. And that's why he was mumbling in his sleep, because he was calling on Archangel Michael to stop the attack, but I also woke him up at the same time. So when he told me this morning, I thought, why would that be? What game am I playing? What was it that could have triggered that experience? That's why I told you about all this sugar stuff, because it all makes sense. The little girl was wearing red. The spinning ball I saw was red. The scar on the side of her face is the same as where the teeth are hurting and the jaws are hurting in my mouth. And of course, I have been doing my best to eliminate sugar, so the sugar entity is not like that. It loves to be with people. So lesson learned. And I decided last night that before, when I was doing the spinning ball technique, I said that no more, I'm not going to go through this again, no more sweets. So it all fit together. Have you had an experience like that? The sugar entity is a real thing, people.